Welcome back, Totem Pole Nation. Thursday edition, NFL Draft Day. We are live. What's going on, Coach Taylor?
Hey, man, just sitting here and thinking about some of the coaches and great men that we have been able to meet over the last couple months. And these are guys like I was on the phone with Jim McNally and Al Groh, and Al Groh coached with the GOATs. Bill Parcells, the two Bills, Bill Belichick. And then in 1992, he was the linebacker coach for the Cleveland Browns and Nick Saban. So to talk to Coach Groh and to Coach McNally on the phone, and Coach McNally say, how do you know this guy? And he goes, well, when I was coaching in Virginia, I called him and his brother the greatest compliment that I could ever pay them. I called them football nerds. So they're in like us. They're football nerds. That's what Coach Groh said about me and my brother and Coach McNally and himself. He told a story about how I'm pretty sure Coach Groh is going to tell it all on Friday. But then I get a frantic phone call from Coach McNally and goes, I got a guy for your podcast. And I was like, okay, Coach. He goes, this guy's famous. He's famous in the NFL. Bob Wylie. And I just laugh. And I was like, yeah, my friend Coach Bald. He knows Coach Wylie. He's like, you got to call him. I just got off the phone with him. He knows you're going to call. So then I got him and Bob Wylie on the phone. So the NFL draft is today. We got the grappler. I mean, we are talking to guys who have worked with the GOATs. They are GOATs. They work with GOATs. I had a little thing going last year called GOATs Make GOATs. GOATs make GOATs. Bill Belichick made Tom Brady. Customato made Mike Tyson.
Oof.
GOATs make GOATs. Man, we are so blessed, aren't we?
Man, it's who you try to surround yourself with. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, the power of positivity and just the power of making connections and reaching out sometimes. You know what I mean? It's as easy as a phone call these days. It's as easy as a text message. What is your excuse why you are not heading in the GOAT direction yourself? That's what I ask you at Totem Pole Nation, because we are on the way. We are Jimmy Butler is what we are. We're knocking off. We're barely sneaking in, and we are knocking off 1 seeds.
We're signing our letters
points.
of intent in McDonald's.
Yes.
We eat with we eat like this at Waffle House. Where is the madness? The madness is feuding with the Iron Sheik. I mean, we already know that the Iron Sheik hated Randy the Macho Man Savage. He hated him. He called him cheap. He called him racial slurs. I mean, it was terrible, some of the stuff he said about Macho Man.
Yeah.
But now the madness has chosen to bring the fire to the Iron Sheik.
Yeah, man. The guy's just a live wire. He's a target. He's target heavy. Who knows who he's going to go after next? But it's interesting. It's an interesting watch. Like, that's the thing with him. You can only predict the unpredictable. I believe he said he's coming on every single day this morning at 7:30, and yet we have yet to see him at 7:30 in the morning here. So, yeah, I don't know, man. When you get him, I've noticed too. He's now on Twitter, and he is dropping all kinds of videos. There's rumor have it that he might be working on an album or something like that. I don't know, man.
He needs to get on Cameo. He needs to be on Cameo. He needs to be the madness. If anybody is a Randy the Macho Man Savage fan, they should pay him. Just start off at $20 a pop. and he does a 2-minute message. I mean, Cameo, $65, I think, or was it 59 for
For
our guy, the
Dick
Pittsburgh
LeBeau.
Steelers defensive coordinator, Dick LeBeau.
Yeah, it wasn't
Dick
wasn't a bad
LeBeau.
rate. Yeah, man. Yeah, that
I
wasn't a
mean, I
bad rate. I
think
saw that.
Cactus Jack is $100.
Right. I saw Tito Santana was like 25, man.
Man,
Wow, what a
I had the
legend Tito
Tito
Santana.
Santana figure from WWF.
Yeah, man. You remember that? Strike Force, him and Rick Martel. What a
Yeah,
combination
the
those
Hammer.
guys were, man. But yeah, man. Talking about the madness, Macho Man, he had such unbelievable feuds with guys like Tito Santana, Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant. Andre was a guy too that didn't really care for the Macho Man. I don't get what that all was about, but that's what everybody always says about Randy, is that he was always 24/7, man. He was in character. You'd see him at
I
the
think he really
Publix.
talked like that. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
well, you got a problem with me.
Right. You guys met him, right? Tony Morgan, like maybe shook his hand with a little
Met
bit too
Macho
much.
Man. Man,
Made it,
dude.
maybe shook his hand with a little bit too much force, and the
Yeah.
Macho Man just kind of let him know,
I mean, dude, goats make goats. Harley Race. I did not know the impact that Harley Race had on Ric Flair. I watched an interview. They had like a dual interview, kind of like a panel of Harley Race and Ric Flair from back in 2009. And Harley Race said that this thing sitting next to me is the greatest thing ever to walk into what we call the squared circle. He worked 7 days a week. 7 days a week. He did 1-hour matches. They traveled around the country in cars, wrestling other federations and associations that were geographically located. I mean, man, that I can understand why Andy Kaufman believed that professional wrestling was the highest form of entertainment.
Yeah, man.
They
without
are
a
the
doubt.
true entertainers. It is not scripted. It is you're in character and you press play, you press record, and you go. And you know a lot of these guys. And even though we weren't in the business, we are the business because we are the totem pole nation. We are the low man on the totem pole. And if anybody wants some, they can get some.
Yeah, man, I'm super excited, to have a legend, the caliber of the Grappler. And Grappler mentions it in his book. That there was a time where Harley Race, went to him, pulled him in the office, and said, "Look, man, I'm just going to ask you this. You can say no, but I need to win this match, against you tonight," is what he told the Grappler. And the Grappler was just, it was baffling to him. He was like, why would such a legend, let me know what I already knew? You know what I mean? But the fact that he had so much respect for him that he would go in there and, ask for his blessing. You know what I mean? It's just such an amazing thing. And the ties that he has, he's arguably, one of the greatest all-time masked wrestlers, of all time. I mean, there's so many good ones. Mil Mascaras, Mr. Wrestling 1, Mr. Wrestling 2, Kane. There's so many guys. Rey Mysterio. I mean, there's so many guys.
The Patriot.
The Patriot, man. I love the Patriot. Hey, you had Top Gun. There's so many guys. What was the you remember the giant machines or the machines? Remember when they called them that, where it was allegedly Andre under a mask? It was Edie and possibly Hogan under the mask.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
man.
remember
Yeah.
that, man. You got a good memory. I just remember our schools having those wrestling magazines, and you could
Yeah.
go in middle school and you could rent a magazine that was in a
Wow.
hard plastic cover. Oh man,
And if they would have kept them in that and still had those magazines, you're
they,
talking about some serious cash, brother.
dude, they probably still do.
Go buy them. Go buy them.
They probably still do in many libraries today.
Go buy them.
Yeah, I
That's
mean, what nostalgia. I mean, Ric Flair cried when Harley Race said that he was the greatest one to ever enter the squared circle. I mean, to be told by your mentor, the guy that you wanted to be like, Ric Flair wanted to be like Harley Race. I just thought he was some old dude that they called the king that was washed up and, but he wasn't. Ric Flair said today, if Harley Race was still alive and in his prime, he would be the UFC world champion. He
yeah.
said it's no doubt.
Dude, Harley was another one of those guys, way up. I mean, up there with Haku. When you talk about Haku, you're on a whole nother level. You're on a whole nother language.
Yeah,
You know what I
he's
mean?
on a
Like
whole
that's a whole.
another level of
Yeah,
madness.
it's him, and then there's a big drop off. But man, Harley is up there as far as legit, tough individuals. Man, nobody messed with him, and man, he
They
was a
did. They
guy
paid the
that.
price.
That's right, man. And he always, if he wasn't in the ring, he usually had a cigarette in his mouth and everything. You know what I mean? But just some of those guys, that's what they did back in the day. You know what I mean? It was different times. Jerry Briscoe, the same way, man. He'd go out there, do calisthenics, and next thing you know, he'd put on an hour-long match, barely drop a sweat. You know what I mean? Just one of those just talented individuals. Yeah,
So
man.
just to talk about the conversation that I had with Bob Wylie and Coach McNally, he calls him Jimmy. Do you know how long I've been with Jimmy? Ming. I know Coach Bald knows Ming. I'm going to let him talk about Ming here in a second. But Coach Bob Wylie, it just shows you, Tim, the effect you can have on people and the power of networking and being a good person. I said, Coach Wylie, we have a mutual friend. He said, who is that? And I said, Coach Bald. Kyle Anderson. Oh, Kyle, he's a great guy, man. He worked at the Marriott. I mean, Coach McNally was blown away that he knew Coach Bald. And I said, Coach Wylie, you should see Coach Bald's backyard. I said, he married right. He was smart.
I call him Uncle Bob. I call him Uncle Bob, man. And,
so, dude,
yeah.
I owe you an apology. Okay? I want to say I'm sorry because you told me that you went to the Cool Clinic in Tampa Bay. And I said you were wrong. And I said you must have went to a glacier. But I found out yesterday that they did have the Cool Clinic 1 year in Tampa Bay. And that was when you met Bob Wylie. That's the only shot you would have had to meet Bob Wylie was the 1 year they had the Cool Clinic and you go to it. And now you've already talked about Bob Wylie. I think my brother knows Paul Alexander. And now I'm best friends with Coach McNally. Should I make the announcement today what Coach McNally honored me with?
This is breaking news, Totem Pole Nation. Breaking news. First time ever.
Man, dude. I mean, he asked me for my address. I mean, really, all he has to do is go on Twitter. And we got Jack, the Wildcat guy. And Jack, the Wildcat guy, my dad loves cats. Coach Socrates loves cats. I believe Tim loves cats. Me and Coach Bald are dog people. Love having you here, Jack. Jack,
Thank you,
the
Jack.
Wildcat guy. All right. Maybe you could join Totem Pole Nation. You sound like a wrestler. That'd be a great name for a wrestler. Jack, the Wildcat guy. All right. So Coach McNally asked me for my address, and he said, I'm going to send you some things. I'm just going to read it directly from the man because it was in all caps. I think he got very excited yesterday because he was driving back from Cincinnati. And let me read this. He goes, small world. I said, Coach Wylie's great. I can't believe he actually knows Coach Bald. And then he goes, small world, all caps. This is all caps. Small world, what's your address? I'm sending you some real membership gifts that makes you a real mushroom coach. And I sent him my address. I said, who else are members, Coach? How many of us are there? Has there ever been a high school coach in it? This is all caps now. They can all buy stuff, but officially appointed by small letters, me, capital letters. And then he said, no, there has never been a high school coach in the Mushroom Society. I said, wow, thank you, Coach. How many other guys are in it? And he goes, all NFL O-line coaches. Wow. I started in 2000 coaching football at LC Bird High School for Coach Bedwell. Coach Paulette was the AD. I was the JV offensive line coach. In 2023, on April 26th, I became an official member of the Mushroom Society, the cool clinic guys that's made up of all NFL offensive line coaches. Man, that is like Ric Flair telling you that you're a part of the Four Horsemen.
Man.
Could you imagine Ric Flair telling you that you are a member of the Four Horsemen? I mean, he is the GOAT because he did it better than anyone had ever done it for such a long time. I mean, he even said that he lost his confidence when the idiot tried to make him into Spartacus. And he was going to lose to Ric Flair, man. Wow. That just shows you that most people are idiots. Don't listen to them. There was actually a guy that tried to change Ric Flair. Man. What's your feelings about that?
Well, just like with how, coaching offensive line, over time, it evolved. Back in the day, I saw you and Coach McNally going back and forth. Offensive linemen couldn't even use their hands, right? Only the defensive linemen could use their hands. You know what I mean? So things evolved, and I think that's what you saw, with the Nature Boy throughout his career. He became an even better talker. Everything just he just kept progressing, and yeah, man. When everybody's telling you to do something, maybe that's when you should listen to what your heart tells you. Do what you believe in. But man, I'm so happy for you, man, to be in, a category like the
Alex
mushroom.
Gibbs, Howard Mudd, Joe
Yeah, man.
Bugle, Bob Wylie, Jim McNally.
Yeah, for the only way I can kind of relate to it is when I got that first invite to the Wrestling Legends luncheon, and I'm sitting at a table with Fidel Sierra, Ricky Santana. I'm sitting right beside Ming or Haku, or Tonga. You know, I got Frankie Lancaster sitting there, Al Perez. I'm shaking hands with, you know, one of the greatest of all time, B. Brian Blair of the Killer Bees. I'm shaking hands with the man with the hands of stone, Ronnie Garvin. You
He's a
know,
bad chicken.
so
And
yeah,
his
man.
brother was an awesome dude, man.
Yeah, man, absolutely. So I kind of get what you're feeling like, man. It's one of those that's just a blessing that you'll always remember. You know, it'll always have a big spot in your heart.
Yeah. Jim Tim. Jim Tim has been with us since LinkedIn. He's one of our original listeners of the Championship Football Coaches Clinic podcast. Famous quote: "Open eyes, big heart, can't lose. Just keep getting after it." Al Groh told me. And Al Groh has some of the best quotes of all time. I mean, he did coach with Bill Parcells, Bill Belichick, and Nick Saban. He said, "Troy, get video of what you consider to be toughness and show it to your players." He said, because your definition of toughness is probably different than what their definition is. And I told him, I said, "Coach, we watched the 2012 LC Bird offensive line beat Derek Nottie and 12 Division I players, Ocean Lakes High School, 180-pound offensive guards doing headstands on 300-pound D tackles." And I mean, dude, Al Groh, one of his sons is in charge of the board for Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots. His other son, Mike Groh, who I know, is the receiver coach for the New York Giants. And guess what Coach McNally did when he found out that Coach Groh's son is in charge of the board of the New England Patriots? The man didn't bring up himself. He brought up one Damian Jackson, the Navy SEAL, and how Coach McNally has been trying to get a hold of Bill Belichick. It's almost impossible because you call and then you have to put in a number for a coach. Then it sends you to the scouting department, and then you go to someone else. But Coach Groh said he was going to tell his son about the Navy SEAL, Damian Jackson, and how Coach Bill Belichick's dad was a coach at the Naval Academy, and Bill Belichick grew up at the Naval Academy. And the respect he has for Naval SEALs, for Navy SEALs, and our military. Matty Ice, those who don't try won't fail. Those who don't fail will not succeed. What did the reporter say to Giannis? Was this year a failure? And he said there are no failures. This is a guy that had to walk 15 miles to the gym. Have you ever seen that movie, Coach Bald?
Which movie is that?
The movie that Disney made about Giannis. See, I
I
know
have
the
not.
real story of Giannis Antetokounmpo. I can't say his last name. The Greek freak. Just take Kevin Durant and LeBron James and add them together, and that's what you get. Okay, you get Giannis Antetokounmpo. But I knew the real story, and I sat and watched probably the first movie me and my sons ever watched. He was 10 years old. We watched the Giannis movie. And I was like, man, this is kind of Disney. You know, I don't know if I like it, but Jackson couldn't take his eyes off it. Then I realized the movie wasn't made for me. The movie was made for kids. The guy walked 15 miles to practice. He slept on gymnastic mats. Him and his brother shared a pair of shoes. That's how the goats are made. Man, I'm feeling it today, Coach.
You are.
I mean,
You are,
Mushroom Society, the first and only high school coach to ever be a part of it. I just texted Alex Marable at the University of Miami and asked him, could we add Bob Wylie to our chat group? He said, of course. Alex Marable's going over their protections with me. And I said, Coach, I said it's half slide left, half slide right, full slide left, full slide right, or fan. Everybody's blocking a man. I mean, he said, yeah, you got it, Troy. That's it.
There you go, man.
The center's going one way, the running back's going the other. He goes, yep. Now, Jim Tim says, see, Jim Tim's a motivator. All right. What's next now? You know, Jim Tim, when the Lord is guiding your steps, we know we're not in control. So we're not even worried about what's next. We're just worried about today. Because I'm not smart enough to worry about anything else. Okay? We got practice. We got school. You got the grappler who was nose to nose with Rowdy. Which one is it? Roddy or Roddy?
Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Man.
Hot rod.
I love that movie he was in about the aliens, dude. You had to wear sunglasses.
Oh, yeah.
Great movie.
I just came here to chew bubble gum and kick some ass, and I'm all out of bubble gum. One of the greatest quotes of all time.
Tim, I mean, a year ago, Totem Pole is not even a year away. I was referencing you still have to put in work for God. What are you willing to do next, though? Jim, I haven't been in control since I was 21, and the good Lord has led me the entire way. And I'm just blessed to have you to be a part of it and to be my friend, Jim. Your next accomplishment, the different parts of it. I have no clue, Jim.
Yeah, you're getting a little too deep over there, Coach. Coach, let's reel you back in over here, man.
I don't even know what's going to happen today.
Take a little break, Coach. Take a little break. But another thing I want to enclose for later on today is when we're having the grappler on, okay, when he had his amazing feud with the Junkyard Dog, okay, we're talking early 80s. Now, the fans, when the Junkyard Dog would come out there, would be chanting, who that think they gonna beat that dog?
Yeah.
Now, I believe that's where it originated, that the who dat came from the Junkyard Dog, not the New Orleans Saints.
Or the Bengals.
Right. The reason I'm saying this is because back then, the Saints, they were a terrible team. You know what I mean? They were really bad in those early 80 days. So I don't sit here and think I'm going to be hearing Saints fans cheer that.
They really weren't that good until Moore, right? Jim Moore?
It was a long time, man. Yeah, it was a long time. But the Junkyard Dog was the hottest thing New Orleans had ever seen before, man. There was no bigger dog than the JYD. And so I think that's where the original, the who dat and the who day came from, was not the New Orleans Saints. I believe it came from the Junkyard Dog. We're going to try to find that out, because I'm thinking it's around like 81, 82. And I don't even believe that team had a very decent record till, you know, like you said, Jim Zorn, you know, later on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Jim Moore.
who day?
Oh, Dion. Over 50 players in the portal, but the Louis luggage is now arriving. It is. He's got some players coming. You know.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, man. Without a doubt.
I mean, I tell you one thing. There's no such thing as bad publicity. I mean, people are talking about Colorado.
Yeah. Who was talking about it last year? You saw the spring game, Coach. You got more people. Got more people at the
when they were
Jamboree.
Renegades. You know, they had Bill McCartney was the coach, and he's a very good man, but I like teams with renegades. And when they were the Renegades, I always thought they were Renegades. They had all black and gold. It's been a long time, man. Eric the Enemy, Cordell Stewart, Michael Westbrook. Was there a Salam? Was there a running back?
Sean Salam. Yeah, man. When they had the enemy too, man, they had like 3 running backs and a quarterback that were all like, 5'9", 210-pound, like just bowling balls, wrecking balls, man. And they all had numbers like 1, 2, 3, and 4. Like you didn't know who was having the ball, man. And it was all awesome, man. They were dominating. I think they kind of took a little bit of what Nebraska was doing and kind of went with their blueprint. And they were just such a smash team back then. When they had those good Notre Dame teams playing against Colorado back then.
Remember that Haskins guy? Remember that Haskins guy that was from Alice Springs that played for CFL?
Mm-hmm.
Thomas Haskins.
Yeah.
You had a video of him losing his shoe in City Stadium and still running a touchdown.
Oh yeah, man. He turned on the Jets.
We should get Wylie Lanier.
He still got that laugh down, I see.
you do it, man. You used to have it.
I forgot, man.
You do. I mean, come on, man. Wylie Lanier tackled this guy on a video. It was a bad man video, and he's over top the guy. He's like laughing in his face.
Football,
we wanted to be like Conrad Dobler and Wylie Lanier and Jack Tatum and let's see, what was
Dick
that guy's name from the Steelers? Dick Butkus. Oh,
Butkus.
Who was the guy from the Steelers?
Lambert.
Ooh, he was from Kent State. He played with Nick Saban.
Ace, double wing right. Ace. Yeah, he was a monster.
You kids today, you got YouTube. All right, we had one tape, and I didn't even have the tape. Kyle Anderson had the tape.
So I taped the tape.
He had the tape. I don't know where he got it from. He might have used his library card. The guy lived right next to the library. There was no wrestling magazines or videos in that library. They were all at Coach Bald's house. All right.
I had the double VHS back then, man. I was a football and wrestling nerd.
Yeah, you still are. This whole channel, we're at our 1-year anniversary, but this whole channel started off as 804 Sports Cards. Because me and my son love sports cards. Coach Bald is big into sports cards. PJ Gibbs, the coach at Golden Gate down in, where is that? Naples? He's big into sports cards. Okay, awesome. I've kind of gotten out of it. The Ja Morant thing. I have every Ja Morant rookie card pretty much other than the autograph ones and ones over $100. But Ja's back, dude. And Desmond Bain. Did you watch the game?
I did not. Let me.
Are you a Grizzlies fan?
I am not a Grizzlies fan.
Yeah, Dylan Brooks. It's hard to be a fan of him, man. But John Desmond, I like Desmond. Desmond and me would be friends, man. I mean, he's just a good kid, man. So, Jimmy Butler ended Giannis' season.
98 points in 2 games. Jimmy Buckets had. Very impressive. There's only like 2 other names up there. One is Michael Jordan. The other is Elgin Baylor. So that's some serious territory there, man.
My son's huge into football memorabilia sports cards. Speaking of which, Coach Bald got a little surprise for you. You'll see it on Friday when I get there. Hey, Coach Bald, who is Coach Davis' son's favorite team? Is it the Lions?
Anything Michigan.
Yeah, dude. I have about 1,000 Matt Stafford cards. And they're Lions. I mean, I don't know where I got them from, man. I bought them from somebody. I should just send them. How old is this son, Kyle?
I want to say Chase is probably about 26, maybe 27.
I thought he's like some little kid. Like
No, man,
I was
no, he's
gonna send
grown.
him like like 100 Matt Staffors, and they'd just be in heaven, Like
Yeah, man. No, man, this guy, he's freaking the guy that,
I
climbs the
got nothing can
trees, gets up
impress him.
there. Yeah, yeah, you can, man. This guy's way up in the top of the biggest trees in the world, chopping limbs down, man. He's amazing.
I got a Sid Gilman
He's a
autograph.
parachute jumper, basically.
Yeah, I got Sid Gilman autograph, Bill Walsh autograph, Bobby Bowden, John Gruden. Then I was getting my
What
son rookie cards.
what is your peak autograph? What would you say was your best autograph card? I've got
Well,
three in mind
I
for
mean, are you talking
myself.
about like cards that actually got signed? Like I know I had Sting and Lex Luger's autograph on a magazine. My dad
Okay.
got me Virgil's autograph, which I don't even know. I mean, my dad might have just got a picture of Virgil and signed it himself. I had Dale Murphy's. I mean, when I was a kid, I didn't have a dog. My dad would say, "Oh, the dog got hit by a car. He died." And he'd just give the dog away to somebody. So, Michigan and the Detroit Lions. He's collecting Amari St. Brown cards. Chase turns 28. Yeah, I'm thinking like, oh man, he's got a son. I'll send him some cards. He'll be all happy. Like when I was a kid, my mom or dad, the little
Oh,
bubble
yeah.
gum machines, and they'd have the
Yeah.
front, and it would have the little toys, like like a piece of paper that had plastic over it. Like my dad or mom knew some guy, and he gave me and my brother like all the fronts out of the machines, and it was like
Wow.
we were in heaven, dude. Like you got everything, like the helmets and the little toys and like yeah. What's your best card signed?
I've got three, man. I've got two are authentic, but I got a Ricky Henderson rookie autoed, and then I have a Dick Butkus rookie auto. And on
Ooh,
the Dick Butkus, it says Dick Butkus, and then it's signed the most feared man in the game. And I've looked at others. I've never seen any others that were signed with exactly that. So
is
that
he
could
still
be.
alive?
Yes, he is.
We
Yes,
got to
he
get him
is.
on.
You know what? I'll talk to Ken, and I'll talk to our Illinois Illini family, and maybe we can have him just phone in
Yeah,
and just do a quick hello to Totem Pole Nation. If anybody can get it done, it's my man Kenny Thomason.
yeah.
He is the man. My third card that I wanted to mention, it was when I was working for the Marriott, and we had it was Thursday night football, and I was the shuttle bus driver, and I saw Steve Young, BYU,
How
San
tall?
Francisco 49er, 6'1",
So
six
he's
foot
shorter
one.
than you.
Yep. And I saw him, and I handed him a USFL card,
Yeah.
and he looked at it, and he was like, "I didn't even know they made these." And he signed it, and I said, "God bless you, Steve. You're amazing. Thank you." And I walked out, and it was one of the greatest moments at that moment.
Yeah. I probably need to get a Vince Lombardi autograph, but they're like $1,000, dude, to get a check, like a check signed by Vince Lombardi.
Yeah,
It's like
man.
a thousand.
I was going through my cards, and I showed Anna this one card. It was a Reggie White, but it was his first NFL card with the he's
With the
wearing
all
91.
black,
No,
the
he was
black
wearing
border.
90. No, it was the green and
Oh,
yellow kind
you
of
the Jerry
background.
Rice year.
Right, exactly, Jerry Rice here. And I showed her that, and then I showed her, a card on eBay that it was his that he had autographed, and it was like for I want to say they were trying to sell it for like 30 grand or something. And I was like, look what this card is worth. And she was like, oh my gosh, you just need to go get him to autograph the card. And I was like, yeah, that's not gonna be possible. The great
Yeah,
Reggie
he's
White.
gone, man.
The great Reggie White, man. Gone but never forgotten. What did
No,
they call him at there in Philly?
he's a minister,
The Minister of
minister of
Defense.
defense.
And you were talking about awesome people that we made. How about our guy David Alexander, man?
Man,
That's it. That's a guy I would love to link up with a Coach Wylie, a Coach McNally, man. Because he's cut from the same cloth, man.
dude, I'm gonna get his line coach, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, we need to go back and talk to him about Jerry Wampler. I brought
exactly.
Bob Wiley's his name up to Bob Wylie. But the guy's 90 and he's in a home. I hope he could probably still talk.
Yeah,
You know?
I looked for I found a few numbers down here. I called and I didn't get in contact with anybody. But it's who you know these days, man. It's who you know. But
Networking.
exactly, man.
So we got Grappler coming on at 1.
Yeah.
We
Yep.
got Al Grow, Coach Grow coming on tomorrow, Friday at 3:15 p.m. I'm calling Bob Wylie today to set up a time with Bob Wylie. Coach Bald will be on with the Bob Wylie. So get permission from your wife so you can come on with Bob Wylie at some time.
Yeah, I'll do a little quick cameo. I won't be able to stay the whole time, but I definitely got to say what's up to Uncle Bob.
So what else you got, man? Be known for something. That was what your life lesson.
Yeah, man, and I did. I got that. That's right from Bob Wylie. Bob Wylie is the one that had that in his message. I went to that clinic, and when I knew he was going to be in there, I mean, I sat right up front. And the first thing he did was ask for somebody to block. He didn't want to block a chair. He wanted to block a human. So he grabbed me and he said, "You guys keep a look on this guy, man. Look at him. He's built more like a D lineman. You know what I mean? Like, watch this guy." And man, it was just great, man. Just the way he the whole presentation was phenomenal. Everybody clapped at the end. And at the end, I went up and talked to him. I bought that manual. I still got the manual, which eventually I'd like to get him and Coach McNally to autograph that thing, man. That would be amazing. And both of them have, some good write-ups in it and whatnot. But yeah, so yeah, he was just awesome. He gave me his business card with his cell phone number, and we've been, in touch ever since. And he sends usually almost every holiday, he'll send me a message and vice versa, So yeah, man, it's all about making connections and impacts. And yeah, man, be known for something. And today, be known as somebody that's going to make an impact. Maybe pick somebody up, maybe make somebody smile, tell them a joke, give them a compliment, man. The little things like that, they mean the world to some people. So that would be my message today, man. Be known for something. How about you, Coach?
I got to go, man.
All right, guys. Totem Nation, to the next episode. We'll see you at 1 with the Grappler. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.